All right. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Just want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who is an instrument of salvation for us. Just want to say shalom, peace, blessings to all the mighty men in this truth. Shabbat shalom, King. Shabbat shalom. But I want to say peace and blessings to all the mighty men in this truth. Peace and blessings to all the brothers and the sisters keeping the Sabbath day today. Shalom to all of Israel, that's going to jump on this live through the Spirit. I always say, hey, look, I'm going to be on here briefly, but, hey, I just get to rambling sometimes. But nah, we just going to do a little quick exhortation about, forsake not your office. And like I said, just wanted to bring the Sabbath in a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? What's something to think about, going into the rest day. I know that some brothers are going on the highways and byways, into tomorrow, well, when the sun rises, to preach the truth to our brothers and sisters who may be lost. So this is just a quick exhortation to give them something to think about, headed to camp, on the way back from camp. But shalom, brother, shalom to all you brothers, right? And I just definitely want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High. So like I said, this title of this quick little exhortation is Forsake Not Your Office. So we're going to start off in the book of Exodus, chapter 31. Right? We give Exodus chapter 31. Now, this was going to be the trivia question that I posted on the story, but it's kind of tricky when you're trying to explain it, and there's people that's not really it's kind of going to go into detail with it. But right, this is Exodus, the book of Exodus, chapter 31. And we're going to start at verse number, I wonder if y'all can hear me. Well, this is Exodus chapter 31. Start at verse number, Salakia, bear with me. Oh, Salakia, chapter 31. We're going to start at verse number 1, right? And it reads, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, See, I have called by name Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, the son of the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship." Verse number 4, "To devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in cutting of stones to set them, and in carving of timber to work in all manner of workmanship," right? So starting off with Exodus 31 is to shed light on the brothers who the Most High gave the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of Salakia, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of knowledge, and the spirit of all workmanship, to be wise in all manner of workmanship, right? This is Bezaleel. He's a Judite, right? And let's keep reading. Verse number 6, "And behold, I have given him with him Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. And in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted, I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded thee," right? So what did the Lord commanded Bezaleel and Aholiab to make, right? Verse number 7, "The tabernacle of the congregation, and the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table and his furniture, and the pure candlestick with all his furniture, and the altar of incense," right? "And the altar of burnt offering with all his furniture, and the laver of his Salakia, and the laver and his foot, and the cloths of service, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest office." Verse number 11, "And the anointing oil and sweet incense for the holy place, according to all that I have commanded thee, they shall they do." So the Lord put the spirit of wisdom and understanding and all manner of workmanship on these brothers to make 12 things for the Most High. The ark of the testimony, the ark of the, the mercy seat, the menorah, the garments for the priest, the furniture that sits in the tabernacle. I mean, these brothers did all manner of work, right? And the Lord put that spirit of wisdom upon them to be able to make these things with their hands. And the Lord told us to not despise laborers' work. Now, the reason that I started off in Exodus 31, because outside of this chapter, you really don't hear about these men no more in all of the scriptures. You don't hear about these men no more in no more in the Torah. At least I haven't read. Now, I could be wrong. But as so far as I've read, you haven't heard of these men anymore in the Torah or outside of the Torah at all. You haven't heard of these men in any manner of scripture past the book of Deuteronomy, past Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd King, 1st, 2nd Chronicles, Esther, Job. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard of these brothers past those books, right? And this is just to shed light of not forsaking your office, because this is important to understand that without these men right here, without the Lord using these men, a lot of these things wouldn't have been constructed, right? And we know the Lord could have chose anybody else, but he chose these brothers. And these brothers got recognition by the Most High in the book of Exodus 31. And outside of Exodus 31, after you read past that, you really don't hear about these brothers no more. You hear about everything that they may constructed. You hear about the priestly garments. You hear about the altar. You hear about the incense. You hear about the furniture. You hear about the Ark of the Testimony. But past Exodus 31, you don't hear the name Bezalel too much anymore, and Holiab, you know. So I wanted to shed light on not forsaking your office, because this is what the Spirit of the Lord commanded these men to do. And they fulfilled their roles and they pleased the Most High with it. The Most High said he gave them wisdom and understanding and all manner of workmanship to be able to build these things in Exodus chapter 31 for the nation of Israel, right? And that's a mighty thing for the Lord to give you that spirit to be crafty with your hands, to be able to work with your hands, and to put your body through so much labor to all for to glorify him. That's a blessing, right? Let me go to the book of Matthew chapter 23, verse 11, right? Matthew chapter 23 and verse number 11. I done went too far. Salakia, bear with me. I'm trying to learn how to be quicker on the sword, but Salakia. Matthew 23 and 11. And it says right here. Yeah, let me start at verse number 11. And it says, but he that is greatest among you shall be your greatest servant, right? So if anybody thinks of themselves to be great, you have to be a great servant. You know what I'm saying? The greatest kings were the greatest servants to the people, right? You can't have a king who only self-centered and who doesn't want to do no manner of work. You can't be a king like the brother Naquam said the other day when he did a video on the day of Simon. He said, you're not to be a king, bro. You're not just sitting down, just eating grapes and getting a woman to fan you with a leaf all day. To be a king, you got to put in work. To be a king, you got to understand that your body is going to have to go through a lot. There's a lot required to be a king, right? You're not just a king and you're the ruler and you're looking down at everybody as peasants and you just doing no work all day for your life. And all of a sudden, everybody else is just laboring for you. No, if you're a king, you're laboring too. You got to put in work for the people, because the people are going to have requests. The people are going to have battles that need to be fought, decision that needs to be made on behalf of the congregation, on behalf of the nation. And you, as the king of that nation, of that group of people, you have to make those decisions. So with saying that is saying that, look, let's read Matthew 23:11 again. But he that is the greatest among you shall be your servant, right? So if you consider yourself great, then you should be a servant, right? Let me read verse number 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So if you exalt yourself, we know that pride cometh before destruction. So if you exalt yourself, you will be made humble. But if you humble yourself, and you will be exalted. The Lord loves a humble spirit. You know what I'm saying? The Lord loves humility. If you come diligently serving the Lord, if you come to be humble, if you come to truly be, if you truly coming from the heart and in the spirit of the Most High, and the Lord loves that, right? But you can't be a servant. You can't want to be a king and not want to be a servant. You can't want to be a king and not want to serve your people. Hey, look, right before Christ was about to wash Peter's feet, Peter was like, look, you ain't finna wash my feet. Why? You know what I'm saying? You Christ. And listen what Christ said to him. He said, unless you be washed by me, you know what I'm saying? So Christ, hey, look, he said, look, I want to wash you because you got to get washed by me. The same thing is for people who consider themselves great. Hey, look, if you're the leader of a group, you got to be the greatest servant, right? And Salakia, I added to the text the first time I read that. But let me read Matthew 23:11 again, just to make it clear, right? It said, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So if you're great, you should be a servant, right? Let me go to Mark chapter 9 and verse 35. Mark 9 and 35. Salakia. Mark 9 and 35. And it reads, and he sat down and called the 12 and said unto them, if any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all and servant of all. So if you think that you're going to be first, you're also going to be the last. You know what I'm saying? The saying that he that is first shall be the last and he that is last shall be first. You know what I'm saying? If you think of yourself to be the greatest, well, hey, look, you're going to be the servant, right? And that applies in the sense of humility, and that applies in the sense of servitude, right? Because we know that there's great people that think they're great that's walking among us now, that one day when the Lord returns, hey, they're going to be servants, right? In the sense of being humbled, you know. But there's also a humility standpoint from the person who is the greatest people, where they are the servants. The greatest people are the servants. They're the people who are willing to work with their hands. They're the people who are willing to put their hands to the plow. And a lot of times the greatest people, they don't get as much recognition for it, right? We get a lot of credit to Moses and Aaron and the priests, right? But we don't talk about the men who built those things that they may be able to serve the Lord the way priests should be able to serve the Lord. We don't talk about the men who built the Ark of the Testimony enough. We just talk about the Ark of the Testimony. We don't talk about the men who built the mercy seat. We don't talk about the men who built the menorah. We just talk about the golden candlestick, and we just talk about the mercy seat. We don't give enough credit to the people who are behind the scenes making these things happen, putting in work. And it's important for people to understand to not forsake your office if you're given that role. If you're given the role to not be exalted until the end, take that role with gladness. I would rather be exalted in the end than be exalted now and be humbled in the end. I don't mind being a servant to my brethren. I don't mind being a servant to the Most High. I would love to be a servant in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that I would love to do because I don't mind serving. But I wanted to be exalted when it matters most, right? And our people need to understand that, look, when it comes to all having offices that require you to have such humility, take those offices with gladness and forsake them not. Don't forsake the role of being the person who the Most High commanded to build all these things for the nation. Why? Because it serves a greater purpose. No, your reward is not going to come from man. Your reward is going to come from the Most High. He gave you the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in whatever field that he gave you, right? So you need to take that role and exalt yourself in that role so that way you can exalt yourself in the Most High. That way the Most High may exalt yourself when he comes back with that reward to give you, right? So you can't forsake your office. You know, you got to take your office with gladness. Everybody's not meant to be a king. Everybody's not meant to be a maid. Everybody's not meant to be a carpenter, and everybody's not meant to be a shepherd. There are a multitude of offices that people have to fulfill, and it's all a part of the body, right? But before I get to that point, let me go to the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 18, because this is another example of being humble. You know, this is another example of humility. Why humility is so important to have in our nation and in the kingdom. And if you want to get to the kingdom, you have to be humble. Because if you're not going to be humble, if you're not going to be humble now, you can't be humble in the kingdom. What makes you think the difference? What makes you think you're going to humble yourself when you stand before the Lord if you can't even humble yourself right now when you're not standing in front of him? That shows that you have a lack of character, right? But that's why it's important to not forsake your office. But this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse number 18. And it reads, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Verse number 19, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek, right? So this is what it says again. Let me read Sirach 3 and 18 again. And it says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Many are in high, verse 19, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek, right? So this is once again showing how humility plays a part in the kingdom of the Most High. The Most High does not reward proud people. There are 6 things the Lord hates, yea, 7 are an abomination. And one of those 6 or 7 things is a proud look. You know what I'm saying? The Lord hates that. He despises a proud look. If you consider yourself a proud man, you have to understand that the Lord, hey, look, he's going to humble you in that day. And he can humble you before that day and humble you in that day. This is why it's important not to forsake your office. Because if you're given a task by the Lord to do and complete, it doesn't matter what your task is, be humble. If you're supposed to be, if the Lord commands you to be the lead singer of the group, right? Say the Lord commands you to be the lead singer of the heavenly choir, right? You can't be the lead singer and think that everybody else is supposed to just bow down and worship you because you're the lead singer. No, you need to be the lead singer because you're going to represent the people who are around you, just like a king. A king is not, the king is considered the lead singer in a government, right? In today's time, we have presidents and prime ministers, right? But a king is supposed to be the lead singer of the rock band of whatever government it represents. But it's not supposed to be the lead singer in the spirit of, I'm the lead singer, y'all bow down to me. No, the lead singer is supposed to say, okay, well, let's y'all tell me what y'all need and I'll deliver it. That's all a lead singer is. That's all a king is. A king delivers to his people. He delivers for his people. And the kings of our people should have been delivering for the Most High. Now, we know that story goes a whole different way, but we just have to say, once again, be humble with any office that you have, because the Lord will give you an office. And if you're not humble, he will humble you. He will take it away from you. He will put you to death. And then when you resurrect it, he'll put you to death again. That's how it happens. We have to not forsake our office. If you're the type of person who the Lord said, hey, look, you're going to have to scrub the floors with a toothbrush in the school that, you know what I'm saying, your organization is built. You got to be the person to mop the floor with a toothbrush, and you're not going to get no recognition for it. If the Lord told you that, you got to accept that, because your acceptance is going to come from the Lord. Your acceptance is not going to come from serving man. You got to understand your heart. It tells a lot of too. You can't hit up there and have the spirit of wanting to serve, but instead of saying, I'm doing this for the Most High to smile, you're doing this so the so-called man, you know what I'm saying, can notice you. And we have people like that in our nation who are like that towards our people, who want to be like that for our people. And I'm not throwing shots at no camp, nobody. I'm just using this as an example. But say you mopping the floor and all of a sudden, hey, brother, brother, not Kwame here. Hopefully he see me scrubbing the floor. Maybe he'll give me a shout out in the next video. Oh, I'm wiping the walls in the school. Maybe Gorilla Hebrew, you know what I'm saying, or put me on Sakari Flux Friday class with them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sitting up here putting all the fringes together. Maybe the brothers are, you know what I'm saying, just take a picture with me and post it on social media. No. Hey, that stuff will be nice. That stuff will be appreciated. But what you're supposed to be doing is, when you're doing that type of work, hey, look, if the Most High gave you that spirit and he gave you that office, you need to fulfill that role so the Most High can reward you openly in front of everybody in that day. Not so you can get a couple likes and a couple of hearty shalawams and, oh, that's a mighty brother, that's a mighty sister. You're not supposed to be doing it for that. You're supposed to be doing it for the Lord. And that's why it's important to know who the men Eliahab, I'm going to butcher their names, Salakia, but I'm going to go back to Exodus 31 so I can say their names again, right? But once again, let me read Sirach 3 and 18 again, just to make emphasis. Matter of fact, let me read verse 20. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly, right? So the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored to the lowly. Hey, the Lord honors the lowly. So if you're lowly, the Lord will honor that. But if you're proud, hey, the Lord despises a proud look. So you're not going to receive any blessing, right? You can't be the person who thinks that you're too good to do anything. You're not too good for nothing. There's this show called Yellowstone that I've been watching. Finished with it now, but there's a show called Yellowstone, and one of the lowest positions that they have for cowboys is the person who was to shovel the poop of the beast, of the cows and the horses. If you were the poop shoveler, they looked at you like, dang, you the bottom of the barrel. Right? But hey, if the Lord commands you to shovel the poop for the horses that the chariots that we need, if the Lord commands you to shovel the poop for the cattle that you're raising, and he commands you to that office, you're not supposed to forsake that office. And the person who got shunned on the most was the dude, was the man named John Dutton, his son Jamie. His son Jamie was a lawyer. He was, had this big name, went to Harvard Law School, had this big name. And he was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, like the political pioneer for the family. Well, he kind of fell off and lost himself. He was finna kill himself. His dad stopped him from killing himself. Then his dad said, hey, look, your new life starts now. Well, his new life started and his dad made him a boo-boo shoveler. A lot of people think that when you're supposed to get a fresh start and a restart in life, you're supposed to just jump into abundant blessings, jump into a abundant life. No, sometimes you got to build that thing up. You know what I'm saying? From the ground up. You can't think that you finna get an office and that just because you're this person that the Lord is going to give you this job or the Lord is going to give you this task. You got to think about it as in, if you given an office from the Lord, it can be anything. But whatever it is, I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities for the Most High. So this is why it's important to not forsake your office. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse number 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to start at verse number 1. Let me kind of go through this chapter real briefly, and then I'm going to sign off this thing. All right. It's like it. My pages are like trying to stick together. But this is 1 Corinthians 12. Let me start at verse number 1. And it says, now, concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. So this is Paul speaking to the brethren, saying concerning spiritual gifts, don't be ignorant, right? What for? Matter of fact, let me jump down to verse number 4, right? Now, I'm trying to see if I want to go to 4 or 5. Let me go to verse number 4, right? So jumping down to verse number 4, it says, now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. So everybody has a different gift, but we're all operating in the same Spirit, right? Verse number 5, and there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. So we have differences of administrations, but we all serve in the same Lord. Hey, Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. You know what I'm saying? Verse number 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh all in all. So once again, this is Paul showing, hey, look, we all have different positions, titles, offices, roles, administrations, operations, but it's the same Spirit, it's the same Lord, and it's the same God that working in all of us, right? Verse number 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal, right? Let me keep going. Verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit, Salakia. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of a wisdom, to another the word of a knowledge by the same Spirit. So one is given the spirit of wisdom and one is given the spirit of knowledge, but they're both by the same Spirit, right? Salakia. One is given a word of wisdom and one is given a word of knowledge, but they're both by the same Spirit, right? Verse number 9, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit. So one has faith, one has knowledge, one has wisdom, and one has healing, the gift of healing, but they're all by the same Spirit. Let me go to verse number 10. To another, the working of miracles, to another, prophecy. So somebody might be able to perform miracles and somebody might know prophecy like the back of their hand, like they first, middle, and last name. These are all the offices that are given to the brethren and sisters by the same Spirit, right? Let me keep going. To another, discerning of spirits. So somebody is able to discern spirits, Salakia. And to another, diverse kind of tongues. Somebody may be able to speak in many tongues, right? To another, the interpretation of tongues. So somebody might be able to speak in a lot of tongues, but somebody might be able to understand each and every tongue that is being spoken, right? So this is once again Paul showing that, look, we all have these spiritual gifts. They're all different, but they're all by the same Lord. They're all by the same God, and they're all by the same Spirit, right? Let me keep going. Verse number 12. Matter of fact, verse number 11. But all these worketh that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. So this is the one Spirit that's given to every man accordingly, right? He's divided himself as he will. This is the Lord giving his Spirit, pouring his Spirit out and giving to every man as he will. Verse number 12. For as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Christ, right? So we all have a difference of position, right? But we have to understand that it's all by the Most High God, right? It doesn't matter if you're the person, if it doesn't matter if you're a trash man, right? If you're a trash man, hey, look, if that Lord gave you that spirit, he has the same spirit in you that he gave the president. And I'm not saying that the trash man and the president have the spirit of the Lord, but I'm just using that as an example to say that the Lord could have a trash man have the same spirit as the president of the United States. I'm more pleased with the spirit that's in me than what the world portrays of what's in me. They used to go to school and tell us, hey, look, if you don't go to school, you'll be nothing more than a trash man. But you know what? Guess what? Somebody got to take the trash out. And if the Lord gave me that lot, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that trash out and I'm going to do it with a humble spirit so I can please the Most High God. I'm not going to do it to say, well, I'm too good to take out trash. Hey, look, not even a shot at women. But there are women who think they're really too good to touch a trash bag. We live in a world today where women think that, oh, I shouldn't touch a gas pump. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that women think that all the time. And I'm not saying all women. But there are men out here who think they're too good to cook. We got men out here who think they're too good to wash dishes. We got men out here who think they're too good to be a humble man to a woman. And we got women out here thinking that they're too good to be a humble woman to a man. Right? And I'm not getting into a relationship spiel, but what I'm saying is that all of us have these offices that the Most High gave us, right? And it doesn't matter if you're, like I said, it doesn't matter if you consider yourself the lead singer. Because if you're the lead singer, that means you're a servant, right? I know thy works and poverty, but thou art rich. Khan. Hey, look, the Lord said he know our works and our poverty, but thou art rich. If you're a trash man for your 9-to-5 job, take that with gladness. Be the best trash man that city has ever had. Show up to work on time. Make sure you don't miss anything. Don't just throw people trash cans over. And don't be like one of my Akis who deliver packages and just throw the packages on the porch when they get tired. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. But what I'm saying is that, hey man, take your role with gladness. You know what I'm saying? Forsake not your office. Because the Lord gives us all different types of offices, different types of spirits, different type of abilities, capabilities, and whatnot. The Lord gives us all of that, right? So if the Lord is working in all of us, if the same God is working in the brother who knows prophecy better than me, but I'm the brother who might be able to discern tongues better than him, hey, look, it's the same God. We need to work together. That's how we go back to nation building, right? That's how we go back to understanding the video that I posted yesterday about who should we invite to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? If we focus on nation building, we got to understand that a part of nation building is that everybody doesn't have the same office. Some people are smarter in the books than they are in the streets. Some people are smarter in the streets than they are in the books. I'm not going to have the person who's book smart just because they have this big fancy name go into the streets and think that they know how to run it because, oh, this is my name. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm going to have that person be in the books. I'm going to have the street person be in the streets. I'm not going to have the person who knows prophecy trying to understand the tongues. And I'm not going to have the person who understands tongue trying to break down prophecy. It doesn't work like that. We all have a role and we all have to play our role. And the more we play our role, the more happier, the Most High will be pleased. The more we will understand that we don't have to fight with ourselves so much. The more we can remove depression, anxiety, hatred from our hearts. We can get back to being a great nation. A lead singer only looks like the lead of the people. Beside them fall back. Being a humble servant is hard work. Learning how to refrain your lips is a wisdom you got to learn. A lot of lead singers don't know how to take a seat like David Ruffin. Don't be the David Ruffin type of brother or sister in this truth. Don't be the David Ruffin brother and sisters who think that now all of a sudden I'm too good to let Brother Paul take the microphone. Or I'm too good to think that Otis can't sell tickets like I can. Because once you get to that point, hey, look, the Lord has no more use for you. Now you got to be made humble. And the Lord made David Ruffin humble. The Lord humbled him because he exalted himself. He thought that because my voice is so great and I'm the lead singer, I'm the one who's putting people in them seats. No, because without all the temptations, without Mel, without Paul, without Otis, you know what I'm saying? Without Korn, without all of them, David Ruffin wouldn't have been that big of a guy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we have strength in numbers. The more, the mightier. You know what I'm saying? Every time we went to war as a nation, we wasn't taking one person. Now, one person could do a lot, but we wasn't taking one person. No, the Lord was commanding us to take thousands, hundreds and thousands of men with us, right? And it doesn't matter if the opponent had 10,000 more people than we did. Hey, look, if we have 400, our 400 is going to kill your 10,000. You know what I'm saying? But King David alone wasn't finna siege a whole nation of people by his own self. Not going to have my PG in the paint and know my center bringing up the ball. Hey, look, today's NBA, though, that's allowed. Today's NBA, they really will let Joel Embiid bring the ball up the court and have James Harden boxing up somebody in the paint. They're going to have James Harden boxing up Giannis, but Joel Embiid bringing the ball up the court, calling plays. That's off. Sound and fundamental basketball will tell you, hey, look, your point guard is supposed to be the shot caller. But just because your point guard is a shot caller and he's the face doesn't mean that, oh, he should look at everybody else like, look, I'm the point guard. You listen to me. You obey me. No. Hey, look, what plan does the coach have for us? That's the plan that I'm following. Hey, look, consider, if this life is a game, consider the Most High our coach. Now, we know this life isn't a game, but using it as an example, the Most High is our coach. And with the Most High being our coach, if I'm running point guard, whatever he's telling me, whatever play he's drawing up, I'm trying to tell my people. Well, look, in our playbook right here, he did give us some stuff that we should tell our people. He did give us some plays that we need to call out and make sure that we letting people know what's going on. I do need to pass the rock and know when to pass the rock. I need to know when to speak, and I need to know when I'm being spoken to, right? You got to be slow to speak, but quick to listen. That's what it says. And I think in James, right? But nonetheless, we all have to understand that we all have a role to play in this nation. We all have a role to play in this kingdom. And the only way we're going to be able to serve and please the Most High and truly be humble servants of the Lord is that if we truly understand our role and play our role. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand and play our role the best. If you know your role and you play it, it'll help the team better, right? And you can't be the person, you can't be the brother, like I said yesterday, you can't be the brother that think that you're above the nation now because you're doing good and everybody else doing bad, it doesn't bother you. No, you can't be that David Ruffin brother or sister in the spirit. They go hand in hand. Every shepherd needs sheep. If he doesn't, then he's not a shepherd. Every shepherd needs a sheep, right? If you consider yourself a shepherd, then you got to have some sheep to herd, literally, right? Let me go to Matthew chapter 5 real quick, and I'm going to end it on this, right? This is the book of Matthew chapter 5. Let me get verse number 5, right? And it says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, right? So to end this is understanding that, hey, look, forsake not your office. We all have a role. We all have a position. We all have an understanding. We all have an assignment and a duty. If you do what's required of you, you know what I'm saying? If we do what's required of us, you know what I'm saying? Everything will fall into place. My role may not be the role of one of my brothers, Brother Azrael. My role may not be his role. My role may not be Brother Donald's role. I just got to play the role the Lord gave me. And if I play my role, then I'll let the Most High deal with them accordingly, and everything will take care of itself, right? But with that being said, I'm going to say once again, Shabbat Shalom. Just want to say I hope you all have a mighty Sabbath day of rest. Just to get a little exhortation of going into, forsake not your office. Hey, look, we all have a role to play. If the Lord commanded you to be the greatest, be the greatest. If the Lord commanded you to be the greatest, then be the greatest. But also be the greatest servant. Don't be the David Ruffin brother or sister, right? Read the book of Exodus, the 31st chapter. And remember that every time you think about the Ark of the Testimonies, you're thinking about the brother Eliah. Let me say their names before I sign off this thing. I want to say it right before I sign off. I don't want to leave this. Oh, I messed their names up. These brothers deserve more than that because they put in a lot of work that I didn't and that I probably wouldn't be able to do. Right? Exodus 31 again. Chapter 31. Bezalel and the brother Aholiab from the tribe of Dan, and Bezalel was from the tribe of Judah. Aholiab was from the tribe of Dan. But be like those brothers. Build everything. Don't say too much. They get reverence from the Lord. right? Hey, be like those brothers. Play your role, know your role, and play it well, right? But shalom, shalom, shalom.